Welcome back to the channel. This week, I've been testing the 2026 Jeep Gladiator Willys. Now, there simply is just nothing quite like a Jeep. And well, the Gladiator adds all the cool stuff and off-road capability that you would get from a normal off-road Jeep and adds a bed to it, which is just purely awesome. And I've loved my time with it, but it has some stiff competition. It's got to compete with the likes of Ford and Toyota in the Ford Ranger Raptor and the Toyota Tacoma, two really good trucks that are going to be really hard to beat. But again, they both don't have what the Jeep has. So I'm going to show you the interior, exterior, and everything in between. Let's just get into it. So taking a look under the hood for the 2026 Jeep Gladiator Willys, it's powered by the Pentastar 3.6 liter V6 engine, producing 285 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque. Now you also get an 8-speed automatic transmission. You get 4-wheel drive, which is obviously going to be very nice in the winter. It can also tow up to 6,000 pounds, so pretty decent there as well. And the maximum payload is around 1,025 pounds. All right, so the best place to start is on the inside since it's pretty cold out. Let's take a look at the back seat for our Jeep Gladiator right here. So pretty easy to get into. There's not like a huge step, but there is sort of one that, you know, doesn't get too slippery in the snow, which is really good news. Then you have kind of your seating area. It's all cloth seats here, but I do kind of like the trim, but the seats are actually surprisingly comfortable, right? And they do actually fold down, which is very nice. So you can kind of have a little bit of storage down there, or you can install the car seat with the top tether there as well. I have the rear facing one, so you can see it actually fits quite nicely, but let's actually hop in here. So usually what I do is I put one foot up here, and there is a grab handle here, which is really convenient. So you can just kind of launch yourself in, close the door, and boom, you are in business. There's just enough room behind my driver profile, and I've got the seat all the way back, and I probably put it even more back if I could. But also what's cool is I have some vents here. No like actual climate control back here, but it's not a big deal for me. You do have your window controls here as well as 2 USB-C and USB-C-A ports, as well as a 115 volt outlet, which is really cool. And you have your cup holders down here as well. And as you can see, this, whole thing is going to be removable. And you also have the nice speakers right here with the dome lights, which look really nice. And yeah, I like the visibility from the back seat. I surprisingly have enough headroom and legroom, despite, it being kind of a smaller cabin because of the bed. But still, I think this is really good. I don't have to really compromise the front passenger seat too much to fit my rear-facing car seat. It's very easy to install. The ISOFIX things are right there. Really easy to do, no issue, and yeah, I got a nice little visibility out of that rear window. So let's actually hop up front, because that's kind of where the business is, right? So it's easy to get in and out of, which I do really appreciate, especially since there's no huge step or anything. Next up, like I said, front seat. So here we go. You can see that the door is attached by this tether. Same thing for the rear as well. And that's kind of how it manages everything. It's currently kind of doing some type of rain thing, but it's not leaking. It's just the way the water's falling. Now, these seats are going to be manually adjusted for both the driver and the passenger. Honestly, not something I mind. Don't really care. The seats are plenty comfortable. They are cloth, no leather here, but still really good because they're extremely comfortable. Again, let's hop in here. I kind of do the same thing. If the vehicle's not on, I'll actually hold on to the steering wheel, but since it's on and it'll move, I will just kind of swing myself in with the grab handle. I'm really glad that that's there, and boom, I love that door closing sound. It's a very nice thud. Then you're greeted by the steering wheel, the Jeep logo, physical buttons for the digital gauge cluster and for the cruise control stuff. Really good news. On the left hand side, we have our lighting controls as well as our illumination controls and a vent right here. So for this gauge cluster, it's a mix of analog and digital, which I actually kind of do like, because when it comes to Jeep, it's kind of what I expect, right? You want some ruggedness, and I feel like the analog dials do give us that, but you have this nice digital system here. It's going to show you fuel economy. It'll show you tire pressure. You can customize it. I usually just keep it right here on the speedometer. No heads-up display, but honestly, that's not needed. You can see our little logo right in the corner there for the Gorilla Glass. You can see kind of or get a good idea of the visibility here. It's kind of what I see out of the window. It's actually pretty decent. I can see the front very nicely, very well. Really hard to complain about it. It's actually quite nice the way that it works. And over on to our digital infotainment display, it's running Uconnect, but it's actually pretty quick for a Uconnect system. Usually I don't really rely on Uconnect to be that fast and responsive, but this one actually is quite quick, and I do like it quite a bit. The only thing in the dashboard is our off-road pages, and you can kind of see some of the gauges, the pitch roll, stuff like that. Some very basic stuff, but kind of all you need. And then you have some of the apps here as well. From Uconnect, it has wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, you name it, it's got it. So that's going to be really good news for a lot of you. But yeah, it's super quick because there's not a lot going on. And you can also control some of your climate from here as well. But say if you don't want to do that, you absolutely do not have to, because all of your controls, all of the controls you could ever need, are right here. So dual zone automatic climate control, heated seats, no ventilation, but a heated steering wheel. So in weather like this, that is very important. So I'm glad to have the heat going in here all the time. You also have your little charger here, and you have your window controls, of course, in the center, because the doors are removable, so that would be kind of useless. And you also have the aux cable, which is not something we see all the time in vehicles, so nice to see that here. You have a USB-C port, USB-C-A or USB-C-A port, and I just kind of connect my phone with the wire. I prefer it like that. And we also have a rear axle locker, which is really cool, an off-road plus button, and you can see we have a bunch of buttons for auxiliary switches for the outside, for the winch. I think you can even install a winch, stuff like that. I really do like the little logos that Jeep puts on its shifters. This one is in the shape of a Gladiator. Then of course you have your transfer case, 2 high, 4 high, neutral, and 4 low. So it's really, really stiff, exactly how it should be. In a Jeep, you really got to pull it back, forward, or whatever you want to do to get it into position. Manual parking brake. You've also got nice cup holders, kind of 2-level storage, which is really nice, and it's quite deep. And there's another USB charger in there. And seats, again, for the passenger are kind of the same as the driver. No worries. They do get a grab handle here. When you're ripping, you have a nice little piece of glove box as well. So I do like it in here. I think it's quite, like I said, I really like how everything's kind of right here. Everything feels kind of, on the smaller side, but honestly, the small kind of area here mixed with, the really cool high up visibility is something really cool. It just makes me feel cool while I'm driving this thing around town. So let me know what you think of the interior, but let's hop outside and take a look from there. All right, next up, we're taking a look at our Jeep Gladiator from the outside. So first off, this paint color is the 41 edition, so it's not like the special pack. It's just the special paint color that makes it look this really cool olive green. Probably one of the best colors you could put on a Jeep like this. Really looks good, attracts a lot of attention. Front end is absolutely classic Jeep. I mean, everywhere you go, no matter who you are, where you've been, you know what this is. This is a Jeep. I love this front bumper. Takes care of business. Love having the look in the winter too. Daytime running LEDs, as well as the nice headlights there, the circular stuff. And then of course you have the clips here for the engine, and of course clips there to hold your windshield when you fold down your Gorilla Glass. Really cool. There's no front-facing camera from my trim this time. Also no front-facing parking sensors, but honestly it's a mid-sized truck, so it's not too hard to park. Not the most important thing in the world. Moving over to the side, this is where you're going to really get an idea of what you're dealing with in terms of, how big it is, right? And also the fact that in the front, it looks like a normal Jeep, but as soon as you get onto the side, you'll see it has all the benefits of a normal Jeep, but we've now got a flatbed, which is really, really cool. I do like the look of this. I like the ride height. I like how aggressive it looks, especially with, the big tires there. They're also winter tires as well. They're Firestone winter tires, so it does absolutely take care of business even better. So if you live in a climate that has snow like I do, put these bad boys on your Gladiator and you'll be just fine. You can see some of the suspension work in here as well if I stick my camera through. Really, really cool. I do like the look of it. Very nice. Got our gas cap over here, as well as in the back we have the tonneau cover, which is really good. And of course we have the classic Jeep looking taillights, the 4-wheel drive sticker, the Jeep logo, of course. Here I do have rear facing parking sensors. There's also a tow hook right there, which is very nice. Also the ability to hook up your equipment there, very good as well. And of course, the bed, the tailgate is not automatic, but it doesn't need to be. It's so light. Got a bunch of room in the bed, also a bunch of tie downs and stuff like that, and you got some lights as well. So really well equipped here. Hard to complain about it. It's a Jeep with a flatbed. So really, really good job. And look how easy it is to close. One hand, right up, no issue. There we go. I really like it. I like the look overall of the rear. I love the ride height as well. You can get a good view of that there too. So really good job by Jeep here. But that is going to do it for my exterior tour of the Jeep Gladiator Willys. Let me know what you think. What do you think of the color, the spec, everything in between? And let's get this thing on the road. All right, on the road now, 2026 Jeep Gladiator Willys. And it's just been like such an easy week, such a cool week. Like, driving a Jeep is such a unique experience. There is so much fun in it. I mean, I love ripping around town in this thing. It's so easy to do. It's so much fun to do as well. It's just quick and it's big and it pretty much handles everything because, the roads are dry right now, but trust me, I had some pretty nasty winter weather during the week here. So I've had like the test of the ice and stuff like that. And honestly, even in like too high mode, it's just been doing super well. Like no issues whatsoever. It has just handled the winter well. The only times I've really had to put it into four-wheel drive is when like I've gotten stuck in like parking lots and stuff when the snow is just too dense. It hadn't been, plowed yet or whatever. I had to, pop the four-wheel drive. And then it just took care of business. I should mention as well, though, that I do have winter tires on here. I've got Firestone winter tires. So if your climate looks like mine, where obviously these houses are nuts, but where there's snow on the ground, then you want to really, really make sure that you have winter tires because it'll allow your Gladiator, or even if you're driving a Wrangler or something like that, to really take care of business. Another thing I really enjoy is look at like my point of view here. Look at how high up I am. I've got a visibility of everything. I can see traffic coming. I can see around other vehicles, and I really like this position. The seat tends to be a little bit more upright sitting, so maybe if you don't like that stuff or that kind of position, maybe you won't like this too much. But for me, it's absolutely perfect. Like, I love how far down there I can see. I love how far this way I could see. You can see there's a car coming quite quickly there, so we're just gonna wait. And yeah, like I love the visibility I have. Like I love this high point of view. It's also really good visibility out the mirrors and stuff. You can see really well out the back as well. So I can kind of see everywhere, and I don't have a 360-degree camera. So having like, just default visibility out of the windshield and stuff like that is really, really useful. Now, some people probably, don't like the actual speed or the fact that it is a Pentastar V6 or anything like that, but honestly, I don't mind it at all. I think it has enough power to get up and go and kind of get the job done. Definitely has enough power to get you through a winter if that's something that you're concerned about. Here, I'll show you right here. Here, let's go a little bit further into like the better area. So, all right, Pentastar V6 Jeep Gladiator. Let's give it some beams. Full throttle. Yeah, so you can see that, it makes a lot of engine noise, but there's not a lot of exhaust noise. But actually, I don't mind. I think it actually sounds pretty cool. I think that this Pentastar V6 absolutely takes care of business. It's got enough push and pull that, to kind of get the job done right. And it's hard to hate on it for that. Like, I think it has more than enough horsepower to do what I would need to do with it, which is get through the winter and get me unstuck and, or not get me stuck in the first place. And overtaking slower traffic, getting onto the highway, it's not a risk. I'm not having to think before I do things. I'm not having, I just get it done. It just takes care of business. And that's what I really like in the Gladiator or even in the Wrangler. They just need to take care of business. And that's one thing too, is driving this kind of vehicle around. I get why so many people choose Jeep, even knowing they're really expensive, right? $79,000 as tested here is a lot of money. And you're kind of approaching that Ford Ranger Raptor, which to me is like, if I have the choice between the two, obviously I'm going Ranger Raptor. I love the Raptor products. And obviously there's just more performance there. It's 400 horsepower versus I think like 276 here. So there's a lot more stuff in a Ranger than there is in a Willys Gladiator. So I just hope they adjust the price a little bit better so that it's more competitive. And I think they'll start to see results in the sales. And also, I think if you look at your local dealers and stuff like that, I don't think they're selling them to you for $79,000 because I think they know that you're not going to buy it for that. So I think you could probably get this thing on a pretty good deal. And if you can, you're getting a pretty cool mid-size truck, probably the coolest on the market in terms of looks and stuff like that. It's it's just a Jeep. There's nothing quite like it. It's awesome. And so like if you can get a good deal, you're getting a pretty decent truck, a very capable truck as well. Ride quality now has been pretty good. I tend to like the more bouncy ride quality that comes with the Gladiator. I like the more off-road suspension, especially in the winter. I drive through a lot of potholes here in Quebec. I mean, I pay a crap ton of taxes, but that doesn't seem to make any difference. I still drive through dirty potholes, but I'd rather have the suspension be a little bit more bouncy, a little bit more off-road like, than me just take the brunt of the force into my chair and into my back. So my back already looks like a racetrack. I'd like to not have that happen. So it's been pretty good in terms of ride quality. Going over big bumps and stuff like that has really not been a big issue for me. And it's just been enjoyable overall in terms of the ride. I can definitely do a long road trip in here, no worries, no issue. In terms of fuel economy, I think you're going to be looking at something that it drinks. It does drink. It's not a V8, but it definitely drinks sort of like a V8. So the average is 15.7 liters per 100 kilometers, which isn't fantastic, right? It's not wonderful. You're probably going to be at the pump a little bit more than you'd like to, especially in colder climates, especially in the winter like I am. So, it's one of those things where it's definitely not a hybrid. 4xe would be cool. Probably save you a little bit more, but yeah. So it's definitely not going to be a cheap vehicle to gas up. But if you don't have a big commute or you don't care and you do a lot of off-roading, I think the gas might be worth it for you. So there you go, there's the driving impressions. Overall, very happy with the way this thing drives. It's cool. I understand why so many of you like these things. I understand why so many of you drive these things. The cool factor's off the charts. The value factor, I don't know. I think it's a little bit too up there in the price. But of course, if you can get it at a good deal, then you're really getting a good truck, I think. Let me know what you think. $79,000 Ford Ranger Raptor, or are you getting the Gladiator anyways? I really want to know. But with that being said, let's throw it to the outro. So there you have it. The Jeep Gladiator Willys is definitely unique, and it absolutely takes care of business in the winter, or really whatever climate you find yourself in, or even in the off-road. It literally just does it all and looks really cool doing it. Now, in terms of value, it is priced pretty high, and that's kind of my biggest concern when it comes to owning a Jeep Gladiator. And I think there are plenty of deals to be had out there, so that's probably a good thing. Because it is quite high price. You're touching the performance market in the truck segment or the mid-size truck segment, and that's kind of concerning because a lot of the times this will lose based off just performance. But if you already live the Jeep life, then you're probably getting this and you don't really care about the performance at all. But of course, and as always, I want to know what you think. What do you think about the color, the spec, the Gladiator overall? Are you getting it, or are you going with just a normal Wrangler? And have you found any deals in your area, or have you paid straight up MSRP and you're just happy to do that? I really want to know all of your thoughts, concerns, questions. If there's anything I missed, please do let me know in the comments. With that being said, I'll see you next week. See you in the next car. Take care.